Hi, y'all, and welcome back. If you're new here, welcome and glad you found us. I am JoJo, and it is great to meet you. We are about to talk about another true crime case and hopefully see justice be done. But before we do, please hit that like button. And if you haven't already, click subscribe and turn your bell notifications to all so you can make sure to be notified when I post new videos. Thank you, everyone, for all your support. It means the world to me. Now sit back, kick off your shoes, grab your tissues and stress balls, and let's dive in. The content you are about to watch contains the subject matter of a real life true crime event. Therefore, it is not suitable for all ages and is only intended for adults. Hi, y'all. It's JoJo back at you again. And here we've got an update on Jake's first case, which is the case for the child cruelty against his then 10-week-old baby girl, which is now known as Promise Faith. I don't care what her birth name was because we will never call her by her birth name, being that the monster was the one who gave it to her. Let's go ahead and move on. I mainly am going to be going over just the updated things on that record because I have already done a video going over the majority of this case record. But there are some things that I do want to go back and I do want to revisit. And I have highlighted those things already in this case, which we will touch on. And it'll just be real quick. I just want to go back over those and emphasize a few little things. I also have a big surprise for y'all coming up. I have another video that I'm going to be putting out, and just a little hint, it has to do with this case, and I will be putting it out as a premiere video. I was originally going to do it for Tuesday, but something has come up that I have to take care of on Tuesday, and I'm not able to change the day on it. So I will be premiering that one on Wednesday. Not quite sure on the time yet. Thinking probably around noontime East Coast time or Eastern time is when I will be premiering it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on in. Now, I just went ahead and pulled this again today. This is September 1st. I wanted to double check and make sure to see if there was any new updates, which you can see right up here. This is the date that I pulled it, September 1st. And there has actually been some new updates since the last updated version that I pulled. So I'm glad that I did that, which of course you got the people of the state of California, the county of Riverside, and they are represented by Connor Rathbun and Brandon Jean Smith. And then you got, of course, Jake. Now, there's two different spellings of his middle name here. Apparently, somehow, they missed the T originally, but this is his actual middle name, is Mitchell. And then he was represented by Vincent Hughes, which we all got to see present himself on the news. And, of course, here's the case information. The custody status has now changed to in custody. And the case is still active, and the ordered bail is back at $35,000. It was at $50,000 because he VOP'd, and his bail had went up when he violated probation. But we'll get into that a little bit more further on down the line. And the arresting agency was Hemet Police Department for his original arrest date, which was December 12th, 2018. Now, just remember that date, okay? His actual arrest date for this charge was December 12th, 2018. We're in 2025 now, but yet this case is still active. And the filing date, they took 3 years, almost to the day, to actually file the charges against him. I don't understand why it took so long, which if any of y'all have actually seen the multitude of reportings on what he actually did to this baby girl, I can't fathom why it took them 3 years almost to the day in order to bring charges against this monster. But apparently it did. Charges were not actually filed against him until October 5th of 2021. The age in days, 611 days. I didn't actually do the math on this, so I don't know if that's from the arrest date or if that is from the filing date till today, which is September 1st. The charges brought against him was he was arrested for willful child cruelty, which is Penal Code 273A, subsection A, and that is a felony. And then he was actually charged with the same exact thing, willful child cruelty, and he pled guilty, and then he was convicted. But then again, you realize this is still an active case, and there are reasons for that. And scheduled cases that are upcoming are this case here, and that's Penal Code 29800, subsection A, subsection 1, and that is a trial setting conference, and that is set for September 2nd, which will be tomorrow, at 8:30 a.m. And then you also have this one here, which is Penal Code 187, subsection A, and that's an arraignment. Now, that is for his current charges in regards to precious little baby Emmanuel. And that will be on September 4th, 2025, which will be this Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Those are in Pacific time zones. And then bail information is right here. These are the bail bond numbers, which both of them have been exonerated, but you will see that originally his first bail was set at $35,000, and that was filed on May 26, 2023. And then he went through his plea hearing, and he received his charges and his sentencing. And then he violated probation, which is what this case right here is for, because he violated his probation. His new bail was set at $50,000, and that was on 12/13/2024. But apparently he ended up paying that bond, and it's been exonerated because when he got rearrested, that bail was exonerated, as well as the bail that he had for violating probation, because he had a separate bail set for that one. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to skip all of this stuff right here, because in their infinite wisdom, they decide to put the older dates all the way down towards the bottom so that you have to go all the way to the end to get to the beginning of the story. Okay, so this is where I started my highlighting at. Now here on 7/2/2024, that is when they filed for the new bail bond, and his appearance date was set for the violation of probation on August 9th, 2024. And then he actually was arrested for that violation of probation on June 27th, 2024. But I guess it took him a couple of days in order to actually file the bail bond. But he never spent any time in jail because he actually bailed out that same exact day. So if you watch my video that I ended up doing on his case number 3 of 3, you will see, which the first one that I did had really bad audio, and I do apologize for that, but I did remake it recently. So if you watch the remake, I actually added in extra stuff to that one. But it did say in there that he was actually released on bail on 6/27/2024, and that was the same exact day that he was arrested for the violation of probation. And then that bond was posted for $50,000 on this case, and then also another $10,000 on the violation of probation case, which was case number 3 of 3, as I just told y'all. So then he was released on bail bond, and like I said, the appearance date was set for August 9th, 2024 for the violation of probation, which you can see up here. And the actual allegation of violation of probation was filed on July 10th, 2024. Now, the thing that really irks me about this is he had a suspended sentence from this case to begin with. And if we go down just a little bit, okay, let's see, where is it? Not that one, right here. Okay, this is the actual date, 6/8/2023 was the date of his actual sentencing. And if we scroll down, you will see down here. See, now this is what I don't get. It says, probation is denied and a state prison sentence is imposed as follows. As to count 1, the court imposes the upper term of 6 years, 0 months. Principal count deemed to be count 1. Execution of sentence suspended. And then it says proceedings are suspended. Then it says for charge 1, formal probation is granted for a period of 48 months under terms and conditions. And then it goes on to talk about more detail, which if you watch my first video on this case, which is the video on case 1 of 3, then I go into more detail and I actually read through this whole entire thing, and you will get more information on that one as far as this is concerned. But I just don't understand why. Why would they impose the 6-year sentence just to turn around and suspend it? And then on top of that, you come up here and he gets violation of probation for that charge, and they don't throw him in prison right away and enact that 6-year sentence that was suspended at the time of his conviction? I don't understand it. I just don't. And this right here, for those of you that want to know, and by the way, for YouTube disclaimer, I am not putting out any information that people cannot get on their own as public information. But right here it says, prohibited persons relinquishment form findings filed. Honorable Judge Dwight Moore. This is the judge that actually sentenced him. He ended up violating probation. I will let you all see exactly who the judges were and who was working for the state every single time that he went to a hearing on these VOPs. You can do with it what you want. But like I said, full YouTube disclosure. This is all public information that is available to anybody that wants to look it up. So let's go on. So now he has his first violation of probation hearing. And this is on August 9th, 2024. And it is hearing on petition to violate, revoke, modify, or terminate probation pursuant to, and there's the code, at 8:30 a.m. Now this was Honorable Judge Francisco Navarro presiding. The people were represented by Deputy District Attorney Alex. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that last name, but y'all can see it right there on your screen. Probation order revoked, but yet custody status information, bail bond number continued. So he continued to remain out on bond. Why? Can you answer that question for me, Mr. Alex and Mr. Navarro? Why did you let him stay out on bond? Why did you not revoke his probation? Well, you did. You ordered that his probation be revoked right then and there, but you didn't throw him in prison. He was right there in your midst because it says right here, defendant is present. Why did you not throw him in jail right then and there and throw that 6-year sentence on him? He ended up violating his probation. In my opinion, that 6-year sentence should have been thrown on him right then and there. And that was back a year ago, which means if he would have been thrown in prison for 6 years at that point, Emmanuel would have never probably been born. And even though that sounds kind of rude in a way, but if he was never born, he would have never, ever been put through the horrific conditions that we're assuming he was put through based on what was said at the press conference, he would have never had to endure that. So we're going to move on. So now we come up to October 7th, 2024, still before December, when Emmanuel was supposedly born. We still don't know an exact date officially yet. At least I have not seen anything official saying exactly when he was born. Violation of probation, arraignment hearing at 8:30 a.m. Honorable Judge Francisco Navarro, again. People represented by Deputy District Attorney Alex, not gonna try, again. And right here, allegation of violation of probation for term 1. Probation remains revoked. So why is he still out on bail? Custody status information. Bail bond continued. Now we're getting closer to what we believe is possibly Emmanuel's birthday. 12/13/24. Violation of probation arraignment hearing at 8:30 a.m. Honorable Judge Francisco Navarro presiding. Again. Now we've got a new DA. People represented by Deputy District Attorney Sam Taola. I'm sorry if I butcher that. I really don't mean to. But now we're filing for a continuance by the defense. Reason for continuance: more preparation needed by defense. So what happens? Custody status information. Bail bond continued. Why? Why can't they just throw him in prison and they let him take care of it while he's in prison, waiting for all these hearings to pop up? April 25th, 2025. Violation of probation arraignment hearing at 1:30 p.m. Honorable George Hernandez, judge. Which, now, mind you, if you actually go back and you watch the video on this case, he's been involved in this case more than this. This is not the first time that he has came into this case. And now we've got a new DA in the courtroom. Deputy District Attorney Ethan Tejas, present in court. And we have another continuance, except this time they don't even want to tell us what the continuance is for. Instead, they just tell us the reason for continuance is other. I really dislike when they say other. Why not just tell us the reason why? Probation remains revoked. If he's not on probation and it's revoked, he should be in flipping prison, people. Am I wrong? Custody status information. Bail bond is continued. Oh, it makes me so angry. I mean, this is April already. Even if they would have thrown him in prison that day, even if, maybe we still would not be here, even though we still are not absolutely sure when that precious angel was red-rummed. Because that's what happened. With everything that has came out already, I have no doubt in my mind. I mean, I wanted to be hopeful. At this point, I have no doubt in my mind that he's no longer on this earth. And unfortunately, we don't even know when he left this earth. But I have a feeling that if they would have thrown him in prison that day, we might not be here right now. Emmanuel might still be with us. But no, they had to continue to let the defense team go on and request continuances. And it's not just the judge. The state did nothing about it because it says right here, motion to continue is not opposed by the people, which means the state did not object to the continuance either. They allowed it as well. So let's move on. Now, the last hearing prior to the one that they just had on August 26th. This one here is on July 2nd. And this was a violation of probation arraignment hearing, again, at 8:30 a.m. And again, Honorable George Hernandez. And this time we've got another new DA, Deputy District Attorney Connor Rathbun, present in court. And they relieved Ethan Teasi, I hope that's how you say it. And they also relieved Sam Taylor. I'm sorry if I butchered that. But they relieved both of the prior DAs that were in there. Don't know why, it doesn't say, but they relieved them. Now, another continuance is requested by the defense. And here again, motion to continue is not opposed by the people. The new DA let it go through. They did not say anything. They did not object. And again, reason for continuance. Other. No good reason, in my opinion. Or if they had a good reason, they don't want to say. And probation remains revoked. Why? I don't understand how they can keep doing this. Custody status information. Bail bond is continued. Now we're going to move more towards the current stuff. And now we have on August 26, 2025, there is an ex parte hearing regarding status. I don't know if you did watch the newest video that I put out, the remake of case 3 of 3. But in the remake, I do talk about what an ex parte hearing is. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that here as well. An ex parte hearing is a court hearing where only one party is present and represented, occurring without prior notice to the other side due to an emergency. The Latin term ex parte means from one party. These hearings are used in emergencies to get temporary orders to prevent immediate irreparable harm, such as in cases of DV or child endangerment. While an ex parte order is temporary, a full hearing will be held later so the absent party can be heard. Now, I don't know exactly how that's going to affect this and why they would have a full hearing on this later, unless they have to have both. Yeah, they might have to have both the defendant and the state in a full hearing for this, but this is our ex parte hearing, and this is on 8/26/2025, and that is at 8:30 a.m., and it is the Honorable George Hernandez. On court's own motion, Honorable George Hernandez recuses himself from hearing matters in this case pursuant to CCP 170.3. In my remake of case 3 of 3, I do look up CCP 170.3. Basically, it's just a lot of legalese to pretty much tell me that, at least this is the way I understand it, is he's finding a conflict in this, being that he was on the prior case, as well as the violation of probation case. And I think just because, now this is only my own opinion, this is me speculating, I don't have no facts to back me up on this part, but I think with all the publicity and everything that this case is going to be getting and has already gotten, he does not want to have himself involved, because there is so much controversy over the fact that Jake has gotten slapped on the wrist so many times and not actually been given proper punishment for what he has done in the past. So I believe, in my opinion, that is the reason why he has recused himself from going any further when it comes to anything dealing with Jake. And then there is a violation of probation arraignment hearing set for 8/26/2025 at 1:30 p.m. So then they had another ex parte hearing because, of course, being that the judge that was supposed to be on that particular violation of probation arraignment hearing, he recused himself. So they had to assign a new judge. And that was done at 8:30 a.m. as well. The reassignment ended up being the Honorable Gail O'Rain, if I'm saying that correctly, I hope. And then the violation of probation arraignment hearing is set for 8/26/2025 at 1:30 p.m. Now, down here, you'll see it was Department 53. And when they did the reassignment hearing, they changed it to Department 61. And here you will see 8/26/2025, violation of probation arraignment hearing rescheduled from 9/2/2025 at 8:30 a.m. in Department B 304 to 9/2/2025 at 8:30 a.m. in Department 61. So all they did here is they just changed the department number in which it is going to be held. In California, in this particular county anyways, they don't have like room numbers in the courtroom from what I found out. They actually call them departments. I'm guessing this is courtroom. Instead of being courtroom B 304, it's going to be courtroom 61. I don't understand why they do that, but hey, to each your own, right? And then here is violation of probation arraignment hearing rescheduled from 8/26/25 at 1:30 p.m. in Department 53 to 8/26/25 at 1:30 p.m. in Department 61. Again, just changing it from Department 53 over to Department 61. And then 8/26/25, violation of probation arraignment hearing at 1:30 p.m. in Department 61. So they're keeping the original September 2nd date for the violation of probation here. That's interesting. But yet they're still having one the day that they went in for the hearing on the new charges. That would be basically their first appearance was 8/26. Okay, let's move on. Now we got 8/26/2025, violation of probation arraignment hearing at 1:30 p.m. in Department 61. The Honorable Gary Polk, which is different than the judge that they just reassigned to that case, which is the Honorable Gail O'Rain. Remember that? Which I kind of wonder about that. I think it might be because of the fact that this was only like a quick kind of like resetting of the date. People were represented by Deputy District Attorney Brandon Jean Smith on this one. A public defender, Brian Cosgrove, was present in court representing Jake in this particular case, and Jake was present. Violation of probation arraignment hearing set for September 4th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. in Department 61. And of course, probation remains revoked. Why? Current custody status information. Bail bond is exonerated. So that was his original bail bond that he had for the violation of probation. That was the $50,000 one. That is exonerated now. Now they reset the bail amount again, but they set it back to what it was originally, the $35,000. And it says, defendant remains remanded to the custody of the Riverside Sheriff, and then minute order printed to Robert Presley Detention Center, which that's where he's being housed currently. That's the detention center that he is currently in. And 8/26/2025, it says notice of bail bond exoneration, and then it mentioned the bail bond is exonerated. And then it also mentions the detention center that he is currently in. These here are just media requests done by New York Post. It's still saying that there's supposed to be a violation of probation arraignment hearing at 8:30 a.m. on September 2nd and again on September 4th. So that has me a little bit confused. Why would he have two of them? Unless they just haven't removed this one. It just doesn't make any sense. 2 days apart. I guess we'll find out more in the morning whether or not he shows up or if it even ends up going on the docket for the day. So I'll be watching out for it and see. I don't know if they're going to have cameras set up in the courtrooms for tomorrow or not. I know they didn't on August 26th when they went in, because I was watching those cameras and none of them ever came online, which really made me mad because I was really hoping to watch them at their first appearance. But c'est la vie. So we are at the end of this one. I am going to be putting out another video. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it out tonight. And tomorrow, like I said, I've got something that had come up, and I'm probably going to be offline all day tomorrow. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it out tomorrow night or not. I might try to get it out tomorrow night. But if not, it'll probably come out on Wednesday night. Keep an eye out, because I will have that surprise out on Wednesday for you guys. And that will be a premiere video, and I will be down in the chat with y'all. So be on the lookout for that. Keep your eyes open, and don't forget, make sure that your bell notifications are turned to all so that you don't miss it, okay? But with that being said, keep your prayers and your thoughts with baby Emmanuel, because regardless, even if he's not on this earth anymore, we still need to bring his body at least home so that he can have a proper burial. And with that being said, thank you all for your support and keeping Emmanuel's story out there. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. And remember, stay safe out there. Stay happy. Bye-bye, y'all.